All right. My name is Raymond Tyler for Atlantic City Focus, and I'm here with Horace Jones, who is the president of cyberpoint.com. How are you, sir?
I'm just fine, thank you. Thank you for giving me some time today.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us. So, first things first, we are here at the Envision Cyber Center in Atlantic City to talk about the new cybersecurity grant. But can you give us a little background about cyberpoint.com?
So, Cyberpoint International.
Okay.
Cyberpoint International, 15 years old. We do cyber defense for the intelligence community, Department of Defense, and we have some commercial work. And we have engineers and analysts who are currently working on some present day problems that you probably even see in the news. But we do services, training, and we actually have products that we sell all around the cybersecurity domain.
Okay. And you are the president, so what does the president's role with CyberPoint International entail?
So the president is responsible for the care and feeding of all the people who are out there performing services. So that means for us, it's in addition to maintaining the business that we have, a big part of that is growth. And as the cyber industry grows, we are growing into different spaces. Now, probably the biggest thing you've heard about is the whole artificial intelligence and machine learning aspect. So we are now growing and have a capability, and we use the capability to help us in a lot of our cybersecurity problem sets. And so that's the programs, operations, financing, business development. All of those are part of my responsibility as the president.
Okay. And how did you decide that you wanted to bring CyberPoint International to Atlantic City and to work with Envision Cyber Center?
So Jimmy Whitehead, who is the CEO of Envision, actually came to an event that we were working in Maryland. And he came in and I got introduced to him. He said, "Hey, I'd like this in Atlantic City." And my question to him was, do you really want this, or do you want to grow a cybersecurity business? He said, I've been talking about this for 10 years. He said, and now I see what my vision is, and I'd like to, can you help me get this into Atlantic City? So that's kind of the start. And so we've been talking for 2 years about how to get started, where to get started. Jimmy is our roadmap to Atlantic City. We bring the cybersecurity skills and expertise, and we try to match that to the opportunities that exist today, and like this, try to put some seeds out and grow some things for tomorrow.
With what you know so far about Atlantic City, what would you say are some of the cybersecurity needs specific to our area or this area?
I mean, the first one is obvious. You have a casino resort, and that's a big part of, I guess, the business space here. And in the last certainly 10 years, the casino market has grown. And in the last probably 2 years, at least in Maryland, it's, we're now, the casino business is no longer just in brick and mortar. They've reached out and you can do gaming from anywhere. So the more points that you extend into the community, the more vulnerability points you have. So the casino business is and I'm sure they're doing, their due diligence to try to keep up. It appears as though we have a lot more bad actors than good. So assisting the casino industry in enhancing their defense posture, that's probably the first thing. The second piece, and it's just a little bit lower, in the U.S., there has been a national effort to increase the cyber workforce. We have a lot more cyber problems, and we have people that are there to help solve them. So that's the second piece here is how do we get people that are trained? How do we get people trained who can now become a part of the solution? Because the footprint even here is growing. So that's the piece that, we told Jimmy, the casinos, that problem is going to grow, and we can help them in that area, but we need to get more people who can help with the solution. And what we believe and what we are proving is that you don't have to have a 4-year degree to get into the cybersecurity business. Training is what's important, and we provide real world scenario-based training. So when the candidates leave, they don't need to now be exposed again to what does it mean to be a cyber analyst. They've already done that work. So they can walk into a job, and they can walk into a casino security operations center or their network operations center, and they can become part of the team to start analyzing a lot of the activities that they see.
If you're just tuning in, this is Atlantic City Focus. I'm here with Horace Jones, president of CyberPoint International. You were talking about cybersecurity jobs here in Atlantic City and walking into a position as a cyber security analyst. If I say ditch digger, grave digger, railroad conductor, elevator operator, none of those jobs, a lot of those jobs are going to be taken over by AI or gone. But what does it look like to be a cybersecurity analyst?
So, we tell people that there are lots of skills that you have that you just don't use. So our component is you can pick the job that they're in today. We believe an interested, focused person can acquire the cybersecurity skills necessary to change careers if they choose to. And that's, so we've been talking about underserved communities. We even are talking to some of the U.S. Native American tribes and councils, because in my case, when I grew up, they didn't push these kinds of things in my neighborhood. You didn't get access to these kinds of things. So we want to take what is a skill, push it out to lots of communities that don't get a chance to do this, because the training is what's important. It's being trained. You get trained to be a train operator. You get trained to be lots of things. You can be trained to be a cybersecurity analyst, get into the field and start. And you may want to go back then once you get in and you really get excited and go back and get a degree or get some kind of certification. There's lots of other paths to continue to add to your cyber skill, but to get in and to be productive and be able to get a job, because what we have found out as CyberPoint International, bringing kids in out of college, they're all shined up. They're really smart kids, and they may have even taken some courses. But those courses are typically, you read a book, you learn what the answers are, you get a test, you check a box, and so it's memorization and recitation. When you come to me and I say, okay, I'm going to take you over to the NSA, I'm going to take you to some agency and put you in a chair, it just doesn't work. It's now another 2 years before they're productive, because they don't have any real world skill. They've not used any of the tools. They've not seen what a cyber attack looks like. They've never seen it. So our training gives you just that. We separate the teams into offensive and defensive and let them see what it means if you're sitting at a computer and someone tries to attack it. That's what you want to learn. You don't want them to be memorizing answers in a book. That's a part of your education. You want them to be able to react because they got skills and they know how to take the capabilities they have and expand them into problem sets.
How has cybersecurity changed over the last few years?
The problem is growing. Well, it's growing in public awareness. For somebody like us, it's been there for a long time. The more technology we design and build, and clouds and all kinds of technologies that are great for us in the community and the society, those are all points of vulnerability, all of them. So, as I usually give people, the more things you can touch, the more things that are vulnerable. People want access to all of the things, and remember, cybersecurity is protecting the things you have that are most valuable to you. That's what we're protecting. They're not going after things that are invaluable. They're going after the things that are valuable. The more you bring technology into your existence, that's just more points of vulnerability you have to now be aware of. We believe that there is a basic set of foundational cyber skills that everybody should have. We hear every day, my friend Mr. Whitehead had an experience maybe 2 months ago with somebody emailing him, trying to get access to information, convince him they knew him, and to get accounts. 2 weeks ago, somebody emailed me and said one of your employees wants to change his account and he can't get his account. He forgot his password. Can you let HR know to send me the password so I can give him access to the account? Now, everything in that email really looked good. It was a good fake. If you don't look careful, you can't tell that really came from someone else and not my employee. So those kinds of things are simple examples where people think, that will never happen to me. But the means by which these attackers can get information from us, they're getting better at it. So we've got to have basic awareness, basic cyber hygiene to kind of exist, or people are going to be taken advantage of. And I'm talking, and we're talking about getting young folks, maybe people want to change careers. What about our elderly? They're at home, they're managing their, Social Security, Medicare, and they're trying to do this by themselves, and they get an email from some organization that looks legitimate. And they start giving accounts and passwords and that kind of thing, and then pretty soon, they got a problem. And you can't get it back. You can't get it back.
If you're just tuning in, this is AtlanticCityFocus.com. We're here with Horace Jones, president of CyberPoint International. As far as a time investment for a young person who's going to get into cybersecurity, what are we talking about? What does the training time look like?
So when we'll do the same thing here in Atlantic City, we have a series of tests to exercise where they are in their skill set. Some people have a better awareness of foundational cyber skills than others. So we kind of make an assessment first of where you kind of think beginner, intermediate, advanced. And then from there, we craft a program to get you to what we believe is and what you can now go out and get any certification you want. That's probably a 12-month kind of period. It could be 9 months, but it just kind of depends on the person. It has to be somebody that's interested because it's not hard, but you have to focus. We believe that anybody that picks up a cell phone, if you pick up a cell phone without an instruction book and you can manage it in 3 months, then you can be cybersecurity trained.
Okay. Do you know if this training will be paid training?
So we are working, and that's part of working with. A month ago we were up in Congress doing just that, trying to get federal funds to support the cost of us kind of getting this thing embedded and bringing in people. We're trying to do now, I think it's 1 million people kind of over 3 years, I think is our goal. And that's to get Congress, and we were talking to members from the Congressional Black Caucus as well as congressmen on both sides, so kind of bipartisan. And they all nod their heads and they agree and they understand. So we're trying to get them to give us funding to expand the footprint of this.
Great. And we are talking to Horace Jones, president of CyberPoint International. A young person who is thinking about getting into this career, what would your ideal recruit look like?
They need to have a small technology awareness, and small means if they got a cell phone, we can train them. If they got a cell phone, we can train them. They don't have to have super math skills or super because we're gonna teach them about a new field that is information technology, and then how to defend that technology. So it's a self-contained kind of domain, but they have to be interested. As I said earlier, we're not here even with the work we're doing out of the Envision Center. We're not giving money away to people to just come sit in a class. That's not the idea. We're training people because these skills, they'll be able to take them with them forever and build on them is kind of the idea.
Okay, so if I'm a young person who's watching this interview, or somebody's watching this interview and says my niece or my nephew would be a great fit for this program, is there a way that they can make themselves known or get information about the program yet?
I'm going to say go through the Envision Center and U.S. Heart Cares. That's the place you should start to make the contact, and that'll ultimately get to me because I'm on the board of directors of U.S. Heart Cares.
Okay. So let's say I'm a business owner and I need some CyberPoint International cybersecurity. Do you have any time to accept new contracts, or is your docket full right now?
Oh, wow. Your docket's never full. We always got space and time. So the easiest thing is go to our website, go to CyberPoint International. We got lots of pretty pictures and lots of ways to get in contact with us to provide cybersecurity services. And what we typically do on that side is we would come into your business and do what we call an assessment, a red team assessment. Red team assessments are where our engineers come in and they look at all the points of vulnerability in your system active today. You may not have gotten hit, but they're points that are active. We give you a report and we go through it with you and we show you all the things that you should now we should probably take action on. And we can do that for any organization.
Great. My name is Raymond Tyler from Atlantic City Focus, here with Horace Jones. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you, or anything you want to say before I let you go?
The only thing I want to tweak is it's not just young people. If you've got the energy and you got the focus, you can be a part of the cybersecurity, educationally trained. And as I said, everybody ought to have basic foundational cyber skills, just so that they know how to look at emails and look at things, text messages. There's a skill there that we overlook because it's not maybe the rigor that you would think you need to get, a full cybersecurity degree. So everybody needs training, just to be aware. So it's not just young, but we're certainly working on the young to try to start early and get them engaged, because I think in many cases we have lots of kids who are skilled, but they haven't had the access and they haven't had the awareness. So we'd like to try to get the word out.
Thank you so much, Mr. Horace Jones. My name is Raymond Tyler, and before I sign off, I'd like to say that I'm with Atlantic City Focus, and for Mark Tyler, our publisher, for our editor, Norris Height, our arts director, Krishna Matthias, and all of our staff, my name is Raymond Tyler. I'd like to thank you for watching.